there's been a lot of hype around cryptocurrency. The hype's died out because the bubble was around the end of 2017, and by like February there was a crash. So people are not interested in Bitcoin anymore as they used to be. But my impression is it'll come back. Just like the real estate bubble crashed and now it's back again. I feel my personal opinion is that it's going to come back again also for various reasons, and I'll go into that. Just a disclaimer, whenever anyone talks about cryptocurrency, we have to give this disclaimer that I'm not a financial professional or legal professional. Anything I talk about today is not considered financial advice. If you want financial advice, you got to talk to your financial professional. And never invest in cryptocurrency more than you're willing to lose, because it's very possible to lose 100% of your investment in cryptocurrency. So with that, let's talk about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is a digital currency based on the blockchain. The blockchain is a record of all the different transactions that happen within that crypto coin, which is Bitcoin in this case. There's multiple copies of that blockchain that is constantly updated. When people mine, they're updating that blockchain record and verifying it. Cryptocurrency is global, so people have a bias locally where, like, if their friends are not making money, their friends lost money, they think it's over, but it's not true, because this is a global phenomena. So you got to look at what's happening globally when you evaluate this kind of thing.
However, I think even though it's global, but it's not accessible to a lot of people.
Yes. So you need internet access or some sort of way to buy the Bitcoin and maintain it and sell it and give it.
Minimize the name of being global. And then at the same time, I think a lot of people hear Bitcoin, they hear cryptocurrency, and then they just feel like, oh, I'm never going to be able to understand that. As it is, sometimes just turn on a computer, they don't know how to do that.
It's true. So people said the same thing about email when email first came out as well. People were like, why would you need email if you can just call people? And most people didn't have internet access back then, because you had to like pay for dial-up through your DSL modem, through your phone line and stuff like that. It was like so weird for people. And it just takes time where the infrastructure is built and it becomes easier. Like, if down the road Bank of America or Wells Fargo starts selling Bitcoin, now it's accessible to anyone, because now you just need like a bank account to be able to buy Bitcoin at that point. And my personal opinion is that that's coming, because Bank of America came out with some patents in cryptocurrency space. Wall Street is invested in cryptocurrency. There's already futures for cryptocurrency on the NASDAQ, I guess. And it's coming. The Winklevoss twins are heavily invested into cryptocurrency. So there's too many people that are rich and powerful that already own cryptocurrency for it to die out. They're not going to let it. If the people in power weren't doing it, then I would say they might be able to stamp it out. Maybe not globally, but in America or Western countries, they might be able to do it. But because they're invested into it, I don't think they're going to let it die out, because they control everything. So Bitcoin is the main coin. Coinbase is what the United States uses to buy and sell Bitcoin typically. If anything on my opinion is that anything on Bitcoin is a relatively safer investment than other coins, because Coinbase is heavily tied to Wall Street and is regulated, and it's the gold standard for the US. They only have like 4 coins on there, so Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. So anything that's not, if you go to orly.com/Bitcoin, you can click through our banner link to get to Coinbase, and then after your first $100 of Bitcoin purchase, then you get an extra $10 in Bitcoin for free, and so do we. Altcoins are any cryptocurrency that's not Bitcoin. So that includes like Litecoin, Ripple, Ether, Bitcoin Cash. Those are all like cryptocurrency, digital currencies that are not Bitcoin, and they'll work slightly differently than Bitcoin. And they'll serve different purposes. Binance is a website that you can go to buy a lot of these altcoins like Ripple. That was really hot in 2017. It went from like, I had friends who made hundreds of thousands of dollars from Ripple. They bought it at less than 1 cent, and then Ripple shot up to $3 a coin. So you can imagine if you bought a couple thousand Ripple coins at $1,000, that you would have like hundreds of thousands of dollars as soon as it hit $3. But Ripple's like back down again to like, I think it's around like 50 to 70 cents around there right now. So if they didn't sell at $3, they would lose all that money again. But they're still higher than a penny. So that's the risk with altcoins, is that like you never know when it's going to drop to nothing. And a lot of these coins will drop to nothing or near to nothing, like a fraction of a cent. There's this thing called pump and dump, where like media will like hype up a coin so it goes up, and the people manipulating will sell all their coin and let it drop to almost no value. And if you're stuck holding that coin, then you lose all your money. Yep, there's a syllabus at the end of the room if you want to grab one as well, and grab a pen too. ICOs are initial coin offerings. So that is one of the one of the main ways that cryptocurrency is used on a day-to-day basis in the financial world, where if somebody had a corporation or a company that they built, or a startup that they built, they used to look for angel investors and try to, like, after their company is like reputable and built out, then they're trying to IPO and get stock investors and things like that. ICO is like the new way to do that, where it's faster and easier to get global investment. So ICO is like an initial coin offering, where you have like a business idea or a company, you build a coin around that, a cryptocurrency around that business, and you can get people to invest in your ICO by selling them tokens, for example. So you build a token through, like, for example, a blockchain. You build your own blockchain, build your own cryptocurrency coin or a token, and you sell that token to people in the ICO phase in exchange for Ether or Bitcoin or Litecoin or whatever you want to accept. Now you have Ether and Bitcoin collected that people are buying, and you're giving them tokens that are not worth anything yet. But as soon as the initial coin offering is done, then that token might be worth something.
So basically, it's sure to say that you're actually not selling a coin, you're selling a belief.
Yes.
Right.
That's all cryptocurrency is 100% belief. It's not backed by anything. Bitcoin without belief is worthless. It's nothing. It's literally nothing. Except like some code that you don't even have the code. It's not like you physically have code. It's just code that's out there in the blockchain. Everything's based on belief, but currency is also based on belief also. Fiat currency is not based on gold. Fiat is based on belief. As soon as people believe in your country and believe in your government and believe in the stability, and they're able to use your fiat currency to buy something like oil or something like that, then that fiat currency is worth something. But if your economy collapses, then your fiat currency is worthless. And that's what happened in Venezuela, where Venezuela's government collapsed. Their currency is worthless. So when that happened, the rich people in Venezuela bought Bitcoin. So that's why Venezuela strengthens my belief in Bitcoin, because there are places in the world that depend on cryptocurrency because their fiat currency is worthless. They can't even buy toilet paper with their fiat currency. It's worthless. So even people in Venezuela are actually mining for cryptocurrency, because that's how they can get real money, even though mining is outlawed. And now Venezuela is trying to build their own cryptocurrency. It's just insane. So that's why I'm holding my cryptocurrency, but I hold it offline in my. You can use Trezor or Ledger to hold cryptocurrency, not online, because hacking is so rampant right now. Just if you're gonna hold Bitcoin and people know about it, just assume you're gonna get hacked, because we'll talk about that in the security section. So, last thing I'm gonna say about ICOs is that a lot of them are scams, because the vetting process is not flushed out like the way IPOs are. So a lot of people will just come up with scams. Like the person behind that ICO might be like 17 and you don't even know. they're just like good at blockchain programming, and they make some sort of coin, and they copy somebody else's blockchain, and they put out a bunch of hype, do a bunch of internet marketing, and people get hyped up and start buying that token. And that when that token ICO is done and that token is placed on an exchange, if it ever gets to an exchange where people can buy that token and sell that token, the token might be worthless. It might be not even be worth a penny per token, and you spent like $100 per token or something like that. You just got to be careful. Do your due diligence. But in the United States, you can't even participate in an ICO because they've outlawed it. Like in 2017, you can do whatever ICO you want to do and just buy into whatever ICO you want. And in 2018, you're supposed to be an accredited investor. So I'm not a lawyer, and this is not legal advice, but you're supposed to be an accredited investor. So meaning like you have to have like a minimum income and prove you have an income. Like it's a couple $100,000. I think it's like, last time I checked, I think it was like $300,000 to be a year to be an accredited investor, to be allowed to participate in people's ICOs. So most ICOs will bar people from the US from participating. So they don't want to deal with the SEC coming after them, trying to put them in jail. So they will, ICOs will typically advertise for non-US countries for people to buy in. So that's that. For security, the way to try to avoid being hacked, well, first, the only guaranteed way to do it is to put all your money into a ledger or a Trezor, all your cryptocurrency, offline, and don't lose it. And make multiple copies of your offline things, so in case like you have like a house fire, you don't lose all your money. The way hackers typically hack these days is they'll steal your cell phone number. So they'll call your cell phone provider, and you can get people's cell phones just from like doing a background check on people. So like whitepages.com or Spokio, you can just pay like $50 and you can get everyone's personal information, like their home address, their family, where they live, their phone number, who their family names are, and they can do a background check on their family for free, and you can figure out all their personal information too. And then like after the Equifax hack, your 150 million people's social security number is just out there in the internet for anyone to get for free. So your identity is gone already. Just assume that your identity is gone. So they'll just call your cell phone provider, Sprint, AT&T, whatever, Boost, and they'll just pretend to be you. They'll give the customer support person your social security number and your address, because they have all that information, your family name and stuff like that. They'll just steal your cell phone and transfer your cell phone number over to their cell phone number. Then they'll use your cell phone number to break into all your email addresses. Then they use your combined cell phone and email, and they can empty your bank accounts. They can empty out your cryptocurrency exchanges, and they'll change the security for everything so that even if you call your cell phone provider, get your phone number back, they still have your email. And you try to recover the email. The recovery email is changed. The recovery password is changed. The recovery email addresses are all changed. And so that email is gone. And they'll use your email to steal all your social media accounts too, to dig even further. And they'll change all the security information, recovery passwords for your social media as well. These hackers are intense, and they work in teams, and so they work fast, and they just annihilate you online. And that's why going offline is the only way to save your stuff. So what you want to do is, like, for anything financial, banks, exchanges, social media even too, you want to use email addresses they're not using anywhere else that nobody knows about. So if you're going to buy Bitcoin on an exchange, create a new email that nobody knows about. You can even get like new phone numbers out on like Google Voice. Yeah, exactly. Or any VoIP provider, and get a new number to use your number for those exchanges, so your number will be unlisted as well. 2FA is two-factor authentication, meaning that even if they have your email and password and phone number and they log into your exchange, there's a two-factor authentication like Google Authenticator, where they have to have your iPhone and that app installed, the Google Authenticator app, and that Authenticator app will give you a code that changes every minute, and you have to enter that code in order to log in. So if they don't actually physically have your iPhone or whatever, then they can't log into your exchange like Coinbase or whatever. But don't lose your phone. That's why you have to have like multiple devices, like a iPhone, an iPad, Android, a tablet, and have that Google Authenticator app installed in all those places at the same time, so that if you lose your iPhone, you still have your Android or whatever, or your iPad, so you can log into your account. And then you have these security codes that if you lose your iPhone, you can use those codes to reinstall that Authenticator app.
Question, speaking of which, how do you feel about LastPass, the website?
What do they do? What is LastPass?
You don't know LastPass. Basically, that website. I use a lot of websites. I have a lot of emails and things like that. So, in order for me to keep track of all my passwords and emails and all that, it's kind of like difficult because I don't like writing things down either. I feel like anybody can see that. So LastPass, basically, you can go online and you have like your secure website, right? LastPass.
Sure.
That's the password that you have to remember. Once you enter that, it's like different vaults within that website where you can store different passwords, different login names, etc., etc. It's supposed to be pretty secure. I've been using it for like a year and a half.
Good.
And I have all my logins right there.
So that's what IT people do, and people that are really concerned about security is that they'll get these password manager programs, and these password managers will generate like a 21 character randomized password, so it's impossible to do. It's called brute force. Brute force means they have these programs that brute force different types of passwords that people commonly use to try to break into your social media or email or whatever. And so these password generators is kind of like what you're talking about. Well, they'll generate the password, but they'll memorize the login for all these websites so that you don't need to log in. You just go through that password manager to log in for you. I have some concern about using online ones because those things might get hacked. Like the actual company itself might get hacked. Because if you think about it, Equifax got hacked.
Wells Fargo.
Yeah, Target got hacked.
I think in the internet world, anybody's vulnerable no matter what. There's always backdoors to everything. So no matter if you have like the best security software or whatever, there's always a backdoor to everything. And they say that it is faster to hack a person than to hack a computer. So
exactly.
If
so the more
has a target in you, they'll get you.
That's typically the fastest way to hack is something called phishing, where you just pretend to be something and get people to give over their password. So people will like send out emails pretending to be Coinbase, and it'll look like it's Coinbase with a Coinbase email it looks like, but it's not. And say your password has been hacked, and so your account is locked, so please log in with your name and password. And it takes them to the website that looks like Coinbase, where they log in with their name and email and password, and they just phish. So they have a program that will like take your email and password that you just entered, and the program will automatically log into the real Coinbase with your information, and they'll change all the passwords automatically and empty out your account automatically to them. So hacking is very efficient these days. The more convenient it is for you, like using those kinds of auto login account managers, you sacrifice a little bit of security. So every time things are easier, you're giving us some security. And that's just the reality of it. So it's just about your risk tolerance. If you're okay with like a little bit more risk, then go ahead and use these managers. But if they get into your password manager, you're screwed because you're going to lose everything all at the same time. And we'll end with something called Masternode. The reason why we'll end with Masternode is because people are using Masternode to scam people now. So all the old scams are kind of dying out, like ICOs are starting to die out because it's hard to get Americans to invest in ICOs these days. But Masternode is the new scam, where Masternode is just a type of cryptocurrency. So it's not like anything special. It's just the way that this is the design of the blockchain. So a node is a copy of the blockchain. This is a record of all the transactions within that cryptocurrency. A Masternode has a copy of the blockchain, so all the record of all the transactions that are happening, and it also allows for instant transaction. So a Masternode is holding on to a pool of whatever coin they're a Masternode for, so that if people want to buy that coin, then they can instantly get it through the Masternode. And it allows people to have like different sort of functions, like anonymous transactions, where like there's no record of them buying or selling that coin because they go through the Masternode. Masternode can have things like voting rights, so they can alter the cryptocurrency in the future. And Masternodes get rewarded, like, for example, they can get a daily reward of that token. So if you're like a Dashcoin Masternode, then you can get rewarded a certain amount of Dashcoin every day for serving that purpose for people. And it sounds like a good deal because like you're making money every day. But if that coin becomes worthless, then you just have a bunch of worthless coins. And that's what happens to most Masternode coins. That's what happens to most just cryptocurrency coins out there, is that most of them just start out at a high price and then just turn into nothing. So there's different websites out there that will list all the different masternodes that are out there. And what people are doing is that because nobody knows what a masternode is yet, it's just not common knowledge yet, is that people will pretend that masternode is like some sort of gold rush. They're like, I've seen like YouTube ads where they'll be like, oh, buy our masternode coin for $200 a month and we'll let you be a masternode for our coin. And this is like the way mining was 5 years ago. So everything about that statement is not true. Like, to be a masternode, you don't actually have to pay to be a masternode. You just rent a virtual private server to hold the program for the masternode for like $5 a month at like VULTR or something like that, some sort of VPS program. So you rent that server for like $5 a month. You just follow the instructions about how to become a masternode on that coin's website, and they'll give you like step-by-step instructions about how to become a masternode for that coin, and then you just buy that coin whatever the price is at the time, and they'll give you like minimum requirements for how many coins you need to hold, and you just put it into that virtual server for $5 a month, and now you're a masternode, and you get rewarded every day from that program, from the masternode coin program. So they're scamming you in multiple ways. One is like they own the coin, so like when you're buying that coin, you're basically paying them for that coin. So what they're doing is they're just collecting Bitcoin and Ether from all these people that think they're gonna make money from that masternode coin, and then they're charging you $100 a month to be a masternode when it only costs them $5. So every month they're making $95 on that service as well. So everything's a scam. So the more you can educate yourself about cryptocurrency, the better. If you want to learn about all the different scams that are out there for cryptocurrency and how we hit six figures with cryptocurrency, then we're on Patreon with the cryptocurrency lectures there. You can get our 2018 cryptocurrency video replay of our blockchain panel that we did in LA in 2018 for $1 on Patreon if you become one of our $1 Patreons. On Patreon, it's very easy to like cancel your account and upgrade and downgrade it as well. Just go to patreon.com/Owerly, OWERLY. So over the next 5 minutes, I'll answer any questions you guys have about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or exchanges or whatever you guys want to talk about. If you guys have any questions.